And so, fellas, we are now on the wheel draft. As you see, we have the 30 teams and their 2 best players in franchise history in alphabetical order. And we're going to draft these players into the NBA today, beginning with Philadelphia, Malone and Iverson. And guys, just look at this list. So many all-time greats. It's going to be so fun. And here we go. Which team will be getting Iverson and Malone? It's going to be the Memphis Grizzlies. So the Memphis Grizzlies are going to get Iverson and Malone. And they're going to join Ja Morant because Ja Morant is not on this list. Like I said, duplicate players on here will be replaced by their all-time version. And now Kareem and Giannis Antetokounmpo are headed to the Phoenix Suns. And guys, that Suns team is going to be tough to beat. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Giannis, Devin Booker, and now arguably the best duo on this list, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, going to the Utah Jazz. So how about that? Their rival team. I know you Jazz fans are happy about that. And guys, question of the day, which is your favorite duo on this list? Honestly, my favorite duo is right here. LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. This duo was so much fun to watch, and they're going to the Golden State Warriors. It almost seems right. That's another rival team. They're going to be out there in Golden State, and here's Boston. Bird and Russell. Boston has so many great players, but you got to go with Bird and Russell here, and they're going to be going to the Celtics, so they're going to go back to their own team. It's rare you see that in these draft simulations. However, they're going to be back in Boston. It's like it just has to be that way. And now, LA Clippers, McAdoo and Chris Paul, they're going to be going to the Denver Nuggets. And what do you guys know about Bob McAdoo back in the day? He was a beast. If you know real basketball or if you play 2K, you probably know who he is. If you don't, that's okay. I didn't know who he was a couple years ago either, but 2K introduced me to him. And now going to the Miami Heat will be the Gasol Brothers, as they are the 2 best players on the Grizzlies all-time team. And now we got Dominique Wilkins and Bob Pettit as they head to the Houston Rockets. Guys, like I said, this simulation is going to be absolute madness. So many great players, so many great teams. As here's LeBron and Dwayne Wade. This is another all-time great duo, and they're headed to the Chicago Bulls. So can they take the Bulls to the championship? And guys, who do you think is better? LeBron and Kyrie or LeBron and Dwayne Wade? I'm actually really curious to see what you guys have to say about that. Then we got Rice and Kemba, the Charlotte Hornets all-time 2 best players, headed to the Lakers. And it's kind of sad to see. Kemba Walker is a top 2 player in franchise history for Charlotte, but right now he's playing overseas. He kind of had a drop off in his career, but now we see Stockton Malone head to the San Antonio Spurs. As now next up, Lucas and Richmond of the Sacramento Kings all-time team. And which squad will they be playing for? It's going to be the Detroit Pistons. And guys, Pistons fans, this is going to help you out, but I'm not sure how much it's going to help you out because the Pistons won no games in November just a couple weeks ago. And now we see going to the Pelicans, it is going to be Frazier and Ewing. As next up, guys, we got Magic Johnson and Kobe Bryant, arguably their best duo here, and they're going to the Mavericks. Guys, honestly, I think this is the best duo. Looking at the list, you got Jordan Pippen, but Magic and Kobe, who is going to stop them? Now we see Tracy McGrady and Penny Hardaway go to the Sacramento Kings. Penny Hardaway, one of my favorite players of all time. And we're halfway through this list. And now we got Dirk and Luka Doncic up next of the Dallas Mavericks. And this duo will be going to the Brooklyn Nets. Man, it would have been so cool to see Dirk and Luka play both in their prime together. That's what today's simulation is all about. As we see Julius Erving and Jason Kidd of the Nets go to the Charlotte Hornets. And now next up, guys, we got one of my favorite players of all time, Carmelo Anthony and Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets all-time team going to the Washington Wizards. I actually met Carmelo Anthony one time in an elevator. It was crazy. I was at a Cavs game in Cleveland. He walked into the elevator. I was just like, yo, I was just a kid, so I didn't really know what to say. But as we see, Paul George, Mel Daniels go to Minnesota Timberwolves. But that was probably like a really cool time or experience for me as a kid. But I also met Chris Paul that day as well, and Blake Griffin. I know, it's crazy. I don't even know. That was just a wild day. But Chris Paul and Anthony Davis are going to the LA Clippers. Let me know, have you met a famous NBA player? Let me know down below. I want to see who you guys met. But Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars of the Pistons all-time team will be going to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And now we got Vince Carter and Kawhi Leonard. This duo is going to be tough to beat. And they are going to go to the Blazers. But man, what would have happened if Toronto, or I should say Kawhi stayed in Toronto? I mean, not Toronto giving him up. He left on purpose. And we see Kawhi or James Harden and Hakeem Olajuwon go to the Knicks. I'm just still stuck on the Kawhi thing. I can't believe he left the Raptors after winning a championship. Who does that? And speaking of the Raptors, they get Tim Duncan. And that is honestly one of the better duos here on this list. And now we've got Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire of the Phoenix Suns, 2 really fun players. And they're going to be going to the Indiana Pacers. So guys, only a couple teams left. And this duo right here is a tough one. Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And they're going to be going to the Atlanta Hawks. They're going to be joining Trae Young Man, that team is going to be so much fun to watch. I literally think Russell Westbrook is one of my favorite players of all time. He gets a lot of slander, but I just love his game. And now going to the Cleveland Cavaliers, Kevin Garnett and Kevin Love. And look at Minnesota. I mean, Kevin Love's only a 91. I feel like he should be higher, as Drexler and Damian Lillard will be going to the 76ers. So that leaves 2 teams left. And I know if you're Orlando or Milwaukee, you want Wilt and Curry, and they're going to be going to Orlando, so Milwaukee misses out on Stephen Curry and Wilt Chamberlain. However, they're going to get Elvin Hayes and Gilbert Arenas. It's still not Curry and Wilt, but nonetheless, it's a good duo. Anyways, guys, the wheel draft is over. If you stayed all the way through, I appreciate you guys. So it's time to head on to NBA 2K24 and simulate the season. And so if you missed the roster overview, we are now on to NBA 2K24. I just got done filling out the rosters. We're going to skim through it and then simulate the season and see what would happen. But as we see the 76ers, man, Joel Embiid, Dame, Clyde Drexler, that team is going to be tough to beat. I mean, honestly, every team is going to be tough to beat in this simulation. Like, look at the Chicago Bulls, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Zach LaVine, DeRozan, even Lonzo Ball. I turned off injuries in the simulation for fun. The Cavaliers with Kevin Garnett, Donovan Mitchell. That could be a really underrated duo. And as we continue on with the teams, comment down below your favorite team or the team that you think is going to win. Obviously, I got to go with my Boston Celtics. That's my favorite team all time. If there was a Pittsburgh team, then that would be my favorite team. And I get a lot of comments like, yo, why are you wearing a West Virginia shirt, but you're from Pittsburgh? That makes no sense. I mean, listen, guys, I know they're a rival. I'm not really in the rivalry like that. Like, I don't really care too much about it. I'm not in the city of Pittsburgh. I'm like 25 minutes away from it. So I'm not like, I don't know. That just never was a rivalry to me. I don't know what you guys think about that. You're probably like, oh, what are you talking about if you're from West Virginia or Pitt? But anyways, I just saw that comment the other day and I want to address it because it's kind of funny. But here we go. Look at the Jazz. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen on the same team, 99 and 97 overall. Then we see the Sacramento Kings, Tracy McGrady, Penny Hardaway. Like I said, this simulation is going to be so much fun. However, there's only one ball to go around per team. And I'm speaking of you, James Harden, as I see him on the New York Knicks. There's only one ball to go around. So how is it going to work out? So many great players on a team together like Wilt and Curry. I mean, this, I feel like it's going to work out pretty good because the Magic have a lot of players who would actually get the ball. But if you look at teams like maybe, I don't know, the Lakers or the Mavericks right here, who's going to be taking the shots? Magic or Kobe? Then we see the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, Luka and Dirk on the same team. Like I said, really fun to see if it happened in real life, but that's what the simulations are all about. And guys, hopefully you're all having a great day out there. The NBA in-season tournament round 1 just finished up. My Boston Celtics lost, but it's okay. The Pacers deserve it. I can't wait to watch it in Vegas. I know you guys might be interested. Let me know if you're not interested about the in-season tournament because in my opinion, I think it's really fun. When we get to Vegas, it's even gonna get more crazier. Each team who wins, I think every player gets $500,000. So who want to compete for that? Unless you're just like a crazy millionaire already. But some of those players from the teams have not that big contracts yet, maybe 1 year, 2 years, so that $500K would help out. Obviously, that $500K would help me out right now if I was on an NBA team. And anyways, we see the Phoenix Suns. This is probably one of the more stacked teams in the league. Then we see the OKC Thunder, Isaiah Thomas, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a higher overall than Joe Dumars, which I think kind of makes sense. He's just a better player than him. Then we see the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Blazers with VC, Kawhi Leonard, Malcolm Brogdon on the team as well. They got a big 3 out there. I'm just kidding. That's not really a big 3, but then we see the Warriors. This is a big 3 if Draymond and Clay were in their prime. But Wizards, Carmelo, Jokic, Kyle Kuzma. That is going to be a good team out there in Washington, D.C. However, that wraps up the roster overview. It is time to simulate to the end of the season here on NBA 2K. And the MVP is LeBron James of the Chicago Bulls. This is the Miami Heat version as he averaged 28 points. Chet Holmgren wins Rookie of the Year with 14 and 10 in Oklahoma City. Kevin Love came off the bench behind Mobley in Cleveland. Pretty interesting strategy, but he had 20 points, won 6th Man of the Year. As look at Scottie Pippen, Defensive Player of the Year for the Jazz, 2 steals, 1.4 blocks. And the Clutch Player of the Year, Michael Jordan. He averaged 30. So maybe he is the clutchest player in NBA history. In the first team All-NBA though, he is not on there. We don't see Michael Jordan, we don't see Scottie Pippen. We see 2 LeBron Jameses, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, and even Gilbert Arenas. How about that? No Jokic, no centers, no Wilt. Then we see league leaders, Gilbert Arenas, 33 led the league. But if you guys know basketball, Gilbert Arenas was a bucket. So it's honestly not really a surprise to see him up here as we see Kobe, Jordan, Kyrie, Carmelo, Chamberlain, LeBron and Luka Chamberlain leading the league in rebounds with 15 a game, still balling out. Then we see Bill Russell in there. So many players above 10 rebounds in this simulation, but I'm curious to see assists. Yep, it's Steve Nash. I kind of expected that. He had 12.3. Matty Johnson's up there. Walt Frazier. How about Frazier, man? And Tyrese Halliburton, the current player in the top 4. And now on the standing is what we've been waiting for. In the East, we have Cleveland, Boston, Atlanta, Chicago, Philly, and Miami. As the play-in tournament teams will be the Brooklyn Nets, Toronto Raptors, the Magic with Curry and Wilt, and the New York Knicks. As the teams who missed out are up there. The Bucks finished last in the East with 18 wins. They did have Gilbert Arenas average 33 though, so that's kind of a W. And on to the West, the Blazers take the 1 seed only with 48 wins. So it seems like the East was better, but the West is more competitive, if that makes sense. Then we see the Warriors, Timberwolves, Kings, Grizzlies, Suns, and they're the play-in tournament teams. As Dallas just misses out, so does San Antonio, and both LA teams finish last. And so the postseason is finally here. You guys see the schedule, but first, we just simulate the play-in tournament to see the teams that make the NBA playoffs, the 7 and 8 seeds. We gotta fill them out, but like I said, this should be really fun. Anyways, you see the teams in the West, you see the teams in the East. Let's simulate it real quick before we get to the live games to see who makes it. Houston, they're gonna go out. The Magic with Wilt and Curry are going to be eliminated. I didn't expect that. I honestly thought they could have won the championship, as the Pelicans will go home and the Knicks will go home. So you see the teams that made it: Denver, Utah, Brooklyn, and Toronto. And this is the first round matchups set for today's simulation. After we added each franchise's 2 best players to the league, it is going to be a lot of fun. And I need you guys to comment down below your predictions. Which team do you think is going to come out the champion out of these 16 squads? Obviously, I'm going with my Boston Celtics. But guys, without further ado, go grab your favorite stack, sit down, relax. All these games will be simulated on NBA 2K24 with live scenarios. So the road to the NBA Finals will begin here in the first round. Anyways, guys, let the madness begin. Here we go. So fellas, we begin the postseason in Denver, where the Blazers will knock off the Nuggets in a 4-game sweep. And look at Vince Carter, no respect for the CPU, nailing the 3 at the buzzer. And for the Denver Nuggets, their season will come to an end as Kawhi and Vince Carter are looking unstoppable. As we now go to Brooklyn, Darius Garland at the line gets the first free throw. It's a 3-point game with 15 seconds. Cleveland up 3-0 in this series, and it looks to be over unless the Mavericks, or I should say the Nets, get a quick shot. I'm saying the Mavericks because they have Luka Doncic and Dirk. This is the Dallas all-time duo, and Dirk, it's a big 3, cuts it to 1, and we're not done yet in this game. Still 10 seconds, and there is a foul. So right when I was about to say the series is over, it is a 1-possession game no matter what happens on this free throw out here. It's 117-115. Garland misses the second. Rebound Dallas, looking to win the game and force 5 or go for overtime. Doncic has it with 2. Doncic for the win. It's off the mark, and the Brooklyn Nets will fall in a sweep as the Cavaliers hold on. Man, what a crazy game as Garnett and his squad moves on. And now moving on to Chicago, it is the 76ers over LeBron and D-Wade of the Bulls in 5 games. I thought Chicago was going to win this series, and honestly, I thought this Bulls team can make it all the way to the Final Four. However, Damian Lillard and this Sixers team with Clyde Drexler and Embiid are on their way to the second round of the postseason in today's simulation with a 5-game series victory. And man, Dame looks good in that Sixers uniform. He should be there in real life. As we now go to Minnesota, the Suns won't foul. They wave the white flag, so the Minnesota Timberwolves will knock off Giannis and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Suns, in 5 games. And man, this Suns team was a tough one to beat, so give credit to Minnesota. And now guys, this first round is going to continue in Miami, where the Heat will go out to the Atlanta Hawks in 6 games. So Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant of Atlanta get the job done. And not too many tight games in this first round already, as look at the Heat, man. They had a great season, but it's going to come to an end, as going up against this Hawks team is tough. And so is every team in this simulation. Every team is so good, as we are now in Golden State. The Jazz are down by 1. It's LeBron against Jordan. How about this? Collins with it in the paint. It's a Game 7. Rest of the way, we got Game 7 this first round as Michael Jordan. Oh my goodness!
put it down on Klay Thompson. MJ on the road in Game 7 just posterized Klay to give the Jazz the lead. And so with only 34 seconds in this game, it's going to be LeBron and Kyrie of the Warriors versus Jazz with Michael Jordan and Pippen. Utah up by 1. Here's LeBron James going at Scotty. 25 seconds. LeBron has it. Pull up 3. It puts it in! LeBron James, a huge three-pointer. Crowd going crazy. Golden State up by 2. Here comes Utah the other way. Dunn has it. Looking for Jordan. Jordan again! They gotta get Klay off him. Michael Jordan is feasting. And with 11 seconds, the shot clock is turned off. Golden State has an opportunity to win the game in the series. Utah looking for a stop in overtime. It's Erving. Goes to his former teammate. And LeBron just puts it up and in. Silencer celebration with 1.4. No timeouts. MJ is off the mark. LeBron James beats Michael Jordan in a playoff series. It went the distance and came down to the wire, but nonetheless, the GOAT debate ends here in the first round. And guys, like I said, the rest of the way in the first round are Game 7s as the Celtics went the distance with Toronto. It was Duncan and David Robinson against Larry Bird and Bill Russell, and the Celtics will get the job done in 7, winning the series and moving on to the second round in the Eastern Conference. And our last match of the first round goes to Sacramento, and the Grizzlies can't buy a bucket. 40 seconds. Barnes has it on the break and blew the bunny. Rebound Memphis with 35 seconds. They're up by 1. Looking for the dagger. Each team can't make a basket here in crunch time. As here's Iverson to drive. Oh, what is Iverson doing? Oh my goodness, that might be one of the best plays we've ever seen. Iverson just threw a lob to himself, and Memphis is up by 3. I mean, that was actually crazy. As here is Tracy McGrady with the Kings down by 3. Need a quick bucket. Penny Hardaway the drive. Hardaway flips it up and in with 12.3. The game is not over, but Sacramento needs to play the foul game here late as they will foul Desmond Bane with 11 seconds. And guys, fast forwarding, Sacramento was off on a basket. They end up fouling again, and the Grizzlies are going to win the game and the series to beat Sacramento. So Allen Iverson, and oh my goodness, he just made a full court shot. It doesn't matter, the game is over. Memphis wins the series in 7, and they're moving on. And so the second round is now upon us as we see the 8 teams remaining. What a fun first round. The Jordan vs. LeBron series was absolutely amazing. Hopefully your favorite team is still in it, because without further ado guys, we're going to continue this simulation here on NBA 2K24 in the second round. Which teams will move on to the Final Four? Well, let's find out. And the conference semifinals will begin off in Memphis, where the 1 seed in the West, the Blazers, are on their way to the second round, or third round I should say, because they have just won 2 series in a sweep. This Portland team is no one to mess with. They are on a roll in this simulation, defeating Iverson and Malone of the Grizzlies. And now we're going to be off to Golden State. Ball is loose, and the Warriors will have it, and they're going to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, so they come off that Game 7 victory against Utah, and they're now on to the Final Four to play Portland, as they will beat the Minnesota Timberwolves in 5 games, and they're going to win the series and end the Minnesota season. And I simulated too fast, but we go to an overtime game in Atlanta where the Hawks will upset the Boston Celtics. Durant and Westbrook went off in this game, and for Larry Bird, he dropped 35 and 11, but it wasn't enough as Boston will be upsetting going home. And our last series of the second round comes in Philadelphia, where the 76ers are moving past the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Joel Embiid, Damian Lillard, and Clyde Drexler all will win the series, taking out Kevin Garnett and Kevin Love of the Cavaliers. And so 4 teams remain. We have Portland versus Golden State and Atlanta versus Philadelphia. Did anybody predict this Final Four, or is your favorite team still in the simulation? Well, we're going to simulate to see which 2 teams will make the NBA Finals. So guys, sit down, sit back, relax, and let's continue on. off to Golden State. It is game 6. Golden State down by 1:45 seconds. LeBron to Irving, and he puts it in. Warriors up in the series 3-2. So can they close it out and move to the finals, or can Portland force a game 7? And this Blazers team has been so dominant in this simulation. They are looking good. I wouldn't count them out right now, as here's Vince Carter going at LeBron. They also have Kawhi Leonard as James blocks VC out of bounds, stares him down, and that puts the crowd on their feet. 33 seconds remaining. Portland will inbound from the baseline. Here is Robert Williams struggling to get it in. Now he does, and Vince Carter connects. Man, Vince Carter is such a great, he is an all-time legend, and he's here in the simulation trying to get the Blazers the series and the championship, as now Golden State has it down by 1, 25 seconds. And will the Warriors go to Kyrie or LeBron? It is going to be interesting to see, as Irving's going to take a 3, puts it in! Kyrie Irving from downtown, 18 seconds, Portland season series on the line. Here is Vince Carter, LeBron James all over him. One stop away is the Warriors from winning this game. 6 seconds, Carter still with it. 4 seconds, Vince Carter has a lane, goes to Williamson, and blocked by James. Blocked by James. Series over. Golden State is headed to the championship. LeBron James does it again, this time in a Warriors uniform, and a heartbreak for Portland. And to meet Golden State in the finals, it will be the Atlanta Hawks. Man, they are on some run in this simulation as they win the East. So Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant are headed to the NBA Finals once again, this time in an Atlanta Hawks jersey, as the 76ers season and championship hopes will come to an end. And so 2 teams remain. Golden State with LeBron and Kyrie against Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook of the Hawks, which is the greatest duo in franchise history. Well guys, it is going to come down to this, a best of 7 series here on NBA 2K24 to determine the winner. It's been a crazy ride up to this point, and now it's time to find out who is the king of the dance. And now we're going to go to a game 7. It goes to distance as Kyrie does it again, putting the moves on Atlanta and buries a 3 to give Golden State a 2-point lead. I mean, he's been incredible in this simulation. And here comes Atlanta the other way. Westbrook in the corner and hits 3, goes down. Could have been an and 1. Prime Russ versus Prime Kyrie, and both of them are delivering as the Hawks are up by 1 with 24 seconds. Championship on the line. Cutting back Doris Thompson. Clay says, let me get a piece of that. And the Warriors up by 1 with 22 seconds. Unbelievable game we got going right now in Atlanta. LeBron versus Durant. It doesn't get any better than this. I'm on my feet at home as Durant the step back. Atlanta looking for the lead. Down to 10 seconds. This might be the last possession. Hawks looking to win it. Golden State looking to win it. Here's Durant. No! Capella! Oh my goodness, he missed it. Capella! Are you kidding me? That was to win the championship, and the Warriors have won. I am speechless. That might be the biggest heartbreak miss we have ever seen in the simulations. Capella just sold the whole entire championship. I can't believe it. And LeBron and Kyrie and the Golden State Warriors have won it in 7. Man, oh man, I need to see your reactions down below in the comments. And the celebration continues in Atlanta. But thank you guys so much for watching today's simulation. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you made it to the end of the video, let me know down below. It was definitely a fun one. But guys, it is Halftime Productions. I'll see you in the next video. And we out for today.